This is iFIBER 1 News. Here are today's top stories.
A Moses Lake man is spending a year in prison for waving a gun around while walking down West Broadway Avenue.
Dozens of people took the plunge into frigid cold water to ring in the new year in Cascade Valley on Monday.
The Douglas County Sheriff's Department has opened up their own state-of-the-art evidence and armor building after years of renting out an inadequate space.
All-American Hercules Mataafa is skipping his senior year at WSU and will enter the NFL Draft.
From the iFIBER 1 Newsroom, this is iFIBER 1 News. And it starts now.
A Moses Lake man is spending a year in prison for waving a gun around while walking down West Broadway Avenue. 32-year-old Brent McKinney pleaded guilty to unlawful possession of a firearm in the second degree and assault in the third degree stemming from his June arrest. A Grant County judge sentenced McKinney to 12 months in prison. McKinney was contacted by police June 26 walking down West Broadway Avenue, waving a handgun and making suicidal threats. Moses Lake police say he ignored officers' commands and continued walking down the sidewalk, pointing the gun at himself and in the air. McKinney eventually threw the gun to the ground and was taken into custody. The firearm, a 9mm Ruger, was stolen June 15th during a vehicle prowl in Moses Lake. This is Joe Utter for iFIBER 1 News.
This segment is brought to you by
Maytag and the family Pooch have a lot in common. Both are loyal, both aim to please, and both are tenacious dish cleaners. But only one can sanitize. Maytag, what's inside matters.
Maytag Appliances, now available at more furniture in Ephrata.
Dozens of people took the plunge into frigid cold water to ring in the new year in Cascade Valley on Monday.
That's cold. All right, I'm done.
The polar bear plunge is put on by Grant County Animal Outreach. The event raises funds for the Outreach Center. Chainsaws were used to cut a hole into the ice on Moses Lake offshore from Cascade Park. Close to 200 people showed up to the plunge. Yesterday's temperature was 28 degrees. I'm Sean Goggins for iFIBER 1 News.
This segment is brought to you by...
Are your taste buds bored? Well, then bring them to Jay's Teriyaki. Not only does Jay's have a variety of teriyaki dishes, they also offer mouth-watering salads and sides. Call Jay's 509-764-5155. Jay's Teriyaki, located at 123 East Broadway in Moses Lake, because it's all in the sauce.
The Douglas County Sheriff's Department has opened up their own state-of-the-art evidence and armor building after years of renting out an inadequate space. One-way key evidence lockers, car lifts for evidence searches, and storage for firearms and SWAT equipment all sit inside a high-security building that the county now owns. Douglas County Sheriff Harvey Jesdal said that the Douglas County Commissioners and Sheriff's Department are smart with their money and were just able to buy the facility outright.
It should be a one-stop deal where you bring your evidence here, you process it if it needs to be processed for fingerprints or DNA or whatever. And then once you brought it here, you process it, and you secure it. You secure it in one of those little boxes downstairs. Or if it's wet material, a lot of times at homicides, a lot of the evidence is wet. There's a special drying room and you can dry it in, because if you take wet evidence and try to put it in a paper bag, what does it do? It rots. So basically, from cradle to grave, we can do just about anything we need to do in a forensic environment with this room.
Douglas County will continue to use Washington State Forensics for DNA testing, but with this new facility, they can ensure that the evidence is secure and uncontaminated. Law enforcement also has room for equipment storage for things like their SWAT tank and training in the upstairs facility. Douglas and Chelan County are also currently working on getting their own technology forensics teams for personal devices such as phones and computers.
And I literally believe that this will be useful for generations of sheriffs, beyond me. And in the end, the citizens get the benefit of it because we have a state-of-the-art forensic facility, which is what this is.
I'm Madison Meyer with iFIBER 1 News.
All-American Hercules Mataafa is skipping his senior year at WSU and will enter the NFL draft. Mataafa made the announcement on Twitter on Sunday, 3 days after the Cougars were thumped by Michigan State in the Holiday Bowl. Mataafa was a consensus All-American and All-Pac-12 first-team selection and was named the Associated Press Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year. He set a Washington State single-season record with 22.5 tackles for loss and finished his career with 22.5 sacks in 3 seasons. He also led the Pac-12 in tackles for loss and sacks with 10.5 this year for the 9-4 Cougars. This is Joe Utter for iFIBER 1 Sports.
This is iFIBER 1 News. For more information on these stories and other news, visit us online at iFiber1.com or check us out on Facebook.